The story begins with a snowstorm happening in Iceland, during which a group of horses is heading toward their home. Suddenly, a creature starts approaching the horses, which terrifies them, and they start running away. After that, the creature comes to a sheep farm, and as it arrives, one of the sheep suddenly takes a deep breath and faints, and then the creature leaves. This farm belonged to a couple named Ingvar and Maria, who were living peacefully in the mountains of Iceland. Since they didn't have any children, they often felt lonely, but they managed their family by taking care of the sheep and growing vegetables. Actually, this place was quite far from the city, so no one ever came there, and both of them spent their time working on the farm. One evening, Maria and Ingvar are seen helping with the delivery of their pregnant sheep, where they discover that many sheep have given birth, making Maria very happy. However, Ingvar wasn't much interested because taking care of so many sheep would be expensive. One day, while both of them were talking after finishing their work, Maria tells Ingvar about the problems with her tractor, to which he replies that they will have to get it fixed before the next season. At that moment, their dog starts barking in the sheep shed, so they both go to check. They see that the dog is barking at a pregnant sheep because it was time for her delivery. Maria and Ingvar help with the delivery, but when they see the lamb, they are shocked. The sheep had given birth to a hybrid baby with a sheep's head but a human body. Maria takes the baby into their house and they both start taking care of it. Since they didn't have any children, they began treating the baby as their own and loved it dearly. They named it Ada and treated it like a human child. In addition, Ingvar brought a baby cot for Ada and placed it in their bedroom so that Ada would always be with them. A few days later, we see that Ada's real mother, the sheep, is calling out to her baby, but Maria doesn't return the baby. Later, Ingvar sees Maria cradling Ada as if she were their child, which makes him emotional, and he starts crying. But the hybrid sheep had brought happiness into their lives, so Ingvar was very happy. One day, when Ingvar was trying to fix the tractor, his dog tried to show him something by pointing toward the fields, but Ingvar didn't understand and ignored it. Time passed, and Ada's real mother kept coming near the house, searching for her baby, but Maria always chased her away, although Ada would watch her from the window. One morning, when Maria went to the fields to work, she asked Ingvar to take care of Ada. However, Ingvar went to work in the shed and accidentally left the house gate open. When Maria returned home, she asked Ingvar about Ada, to which he replied that he had put her to sleep in the bedroom before going out. So, Maria went to check in the bedroom, but Ada wasn't there. This frightened both Maria and Ingvar, and they started searching for her around the house. Maria became very tense, and Ingvar comforted her, saying that they would definitely find Ada. They both searched for Ada throughout the entire area, but they couldn't find her anywhere. Tired and defeated, they started heading back home when they heard the sound of a sheep. Maria followed the sound and saw that Ada's real mother had taken her outside. Maria immediately snatched Ada from the sheep and covered her with a cloth to protect her from the cold. As they headed home, Ada's mother started following them, but Maria got angry and told her to go away. Once they got home, they put Ada to sleep and breathed a sigh of relief. A few months later, Ada grew up and had now become a part of the family. In particular, Ada's relationship with Maria had grown very strong, and they could no longer live without each other. One night, Maria has a terrifying dream about the sheep, which wakes her up. She starts thinking that maybe Ada's mother will take her away from them, so Maria makes a plan to protect Ada. She leaves Ingvar and Ada sleeping and goes outside, where she shoots and kills Ada's mother, the sheep. Afterward, she buries the sheep right there. At that moment, Ingvar's brother Peter sees Maria doing this. Peter used to live in the city and made money through small crimes, but for some reason, he had been left at Ingvar's place. Anyway, Peter goes to sleep in the sheep shed, and when he wakes up, he sees Ada. But soon, Ada disappears, making Peter think he was just dreaming. In the morning, Peter meets Ingvar, who is very happy to see him since it had been a long time since Peter last visited. Ingvar brings him inside and asks Maria to prepare breakfast. While they are having breakfast, Ada comes over, and Maria introduces Ada to Peter. However, Peter feels a bit disturbed by Ada's presence but doesn't say anything. Later, Ada and Maria are spending time together while taking a bath. Meanwhile, Ingvar and Peter are painting the house. Peter goes inside and sees Maria bathing with Ada. When Ingvar comes inside, Peter asks him what's going on, to which Ingvar simply replies that their family is very happy. At night, Maria brings Ada to Peter and asks Ada to say goodnight to her Uncle Peter. Once again, Peter tries to talk to Ingvar about Ada, but Ingvar says he doesn't want to discuss it. He also tells Peter that he can stay as long as he wants, but that he should not interfere in their personal life. Maria asks Ingvar how long Peter is going to stay, as Peter used to flirt with Maria and always looked at her with bad intentions, so she wanted him to leave as soon as possible. Ingvar tells her that Peter will stay for a while because he often comes here to hide from people he owes money to. The next morning, the three of them are planting potatoes in the field while their dog is taking care of Ada. However, Ada scares the dog. Meanwhile, the three take a break, during which Peter starts flirting with Maria, but Maria pushes him away. Peter then tells her that the one she thinks of as a human is just an animal. Maria ignores his words and walks away. The following morning, Ingvar wakes Peter up and asks him to help clean the shed. While cleaning, Peter finds his old drums, which makes him very happy, and he starts playing them. Hearing the sound of the drums, Ada comes over and starts enjoying the music, but Peter doesn't like it. He starts mocking Ada and takes her outside, force-feeding her grass while calling her a sheep. At this point, Ingvar arrives and sees Peter doing this. Ingvar gets angry, scolds Peter, and takes Ada away. Peter tells him that Ada is not a human but just an animal, but Ingvar ignores his words and leaves. The next morning, we see Peter sneaking into Maria and Ingvar's bedroom and taking Ada outside without telling them. Peter then picks up a gun from the shed and takes Ada far from the house, where he suddenly points the gun at Ada, thinking of shooting her. However, seeing Ada's innocent face, he changes his mind. On the other hand, Maria wakes up and notices that Ada is not in the room, which makes her anxious, and she starts looking for Ada around the house. She then finds Ada in Peter's room, where Peter is sleeping with Ada in his arms, making Maria think that Peter has accepted Ada. Later, we see Maria at a graveyard sitting in front of a grave and praying. Here we learn that Maria and Ingvar had a daughter named Ada, but for some reason their daughter passed away, leaving them both very lonely. That's why they named the hybrid sheep child Ada and started seeing her as their own daughter. Ingvar tells Ada stories, during which he is reminded of his deceased daughter, making him very emotional. At that moment, Maria comes to him and calms him down. In reality, both of them blame themselves for their daughter's death, which had created a lot of distance between them. However, since they found Ada, the distance between them had started to diminish. Additionally, Peter had also begun to like Ada and would often take her out for walks, which made Ingvar and Maria happy as they felt Peter had accepted her. One day, Peter takes Ada with him for fishing, and during this, he tells Ada about his and Ingvar's childhood. But on their way back home, their tractor breaks down. Peter tries to fix it but is unable to figure out what the problem is, so he leaves the tractor there and returns home with Ada. After dinner, they all sit down to watch a game on TV, but their team loses, which ruins their mood. To lighten the atmosphere, Maria plays one of Peter's old music videos on the TV, which cheers everyone up, and they all start dancing. The three of them enjoy themselves while drinking, and meanwhile, Ada quietly steps out of the house. Outside, she sees the same creature that had appeared at the sheep farm at the beginning of the story. Seeing the creature, Ada runs back home and goes to the shed to look at herself. The truth is, Ada was wondering why she didn't look like her parents, Maria and Ingvar, and now she started suspecting that they weren't her real parents. Ingvar, who is drunk, falls to the ground, and Peter helps him to the bedroom. Ada also comes there and sleeps beside Ingvar, but she is still thinking about the creature she had seen earlier. During this, Peter approaches Maria and starts flirting with her by touching her. Maria stops him and warns him not to behave like that again. Peter then blackmails her, saying that he knows she killed Ada's real mother, and if she doesn't listen to him, he will tell Ada everything. Left with no choice, Maria agrees to Peter's demands but manages to lock him inside a room. Peter shouts at her to open the door, but Maria ignores him and walks away. The next morning, Maria goes to Peter and asks him to leave their home, to which Peter agrees. She takes him to the bus stop to drop him off. Meanwhile, Ingvar wakes up and starts looking for his wife and brother, but when he can't find them, He has breakfast with Ada and then sets off with her to retrieve the tractor. As Maria drops Peter off, she tells him that Ada is a gift from God to them, and with her help, they can start living a good life again. Despite being angry with Peter, Maria gives him some money before heading back home. Ingvar teaches Ada what to do if she ever gets lost. Then they reach the tractor, and Ingvar tries to fix it, but he can't figure out the problem, so he decides to return home with Ada. By this time, Maria had already arrived home. She thinks that now she and Ingvar can live peacefully with Ada, but she doesn't see Ingvar or Ada anywhere in the house. Suddenly, she hears the sound of a gunshot, which frightens her, and she quickly runs toward the farm. There, we see that the creature has shot Ingvar in the neck, killing him. This creature is also half human and half sheep, and we learn that it is Ada's real father. This is the reason Ada had started suspecting her parents after seeing the creature. Now, the creature takes Ada by the hand and starts leading her away. Ada tries to free her hand and go to Ingvar, but the creature holds on to her and takes her away as Ada tearfully looks back at Ingvar. Soon, Maria arrives and upon seeing Ingvar dead, breaks down crying. Now, Maria had nothing left, and she was completely alone. In the end, Maria closes her eyes in hopelessness, and with this, the movie ends.